Hi, everybody. You're watching SayconTalks. Hi, everybody. I have some stuff over here. Let me move this out the way. Hi. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in for this late night edition of Friday Night Chill with Saycon Sengbloh. I'm Saycon Sengbloh, and you're watching Saycon Talks. Hello, Barnyard. How you doing? Hello, Joseph Shiro. You got your burdock root tea, and it came yesterday. You love it. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. Hi, Darth Cloud. Hello. How are you guys? How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing? It is quite a day today. So much energy today. So much going on in the world. And I can't jump into this thing without acknowledging the protests and everything that's been going on in Minneapolis today. It's been quite a thing. I saw online that Colin Kaepernick is going to establish a fund to pay the legal fees for the protesters. There's been so many protesters, so many people who are passionate and upset, rightfully so, because of the passing of George Floyd. Many blessings to him and his family. I'm trying to use my words carefully because, YouTube, a lot of things have changed with YouTube, and different people's channels talk about different things. Some people get away with more things than others, Like at one point, you couldn't talk about Corona without getting demonetized, and then now everybody's talking about Corona with no problem. At one point, you couldn't say COVID-19, Corona, whatever, and now apparently people are. So you can't talk about violence, and then you can't talk about violence, But it's hard not to talk about violence when everything that's been happening in this world. I just want to just give a salute to Black men, a salute to men who are part of the African diaspora, men who are, whether you consider yourself Black or not, men who may be treated based on the color of their skin, and just a big salute, because it's come to a head today that we have to. I mean, we've always needed to make some changes here in this country and around the world, but it's come to a head, and it's not the first time. I'm gonna have a little cup of tea. I ran out of my favorite tea that I had been drinking, so I'm gonna do this ginger peach black tea. I'm not sponsored by them, but this tea is by Serengeti Teas, little Liberian tea shop here in New York. I'm just gonna. Oh, this one smells really good though. It's really good, but it's loose leaf, so you have to strain it. Yeah, things have really come to a head. So I wanted to jump on here. I planned to go on earlier, and I would like to go on earlier. One of my followers last week said, "You don't care about the working man." He said, "The working man, we got to keep certain hours." This stuff smells so good. He said, "You don't care about the working man," but I do. I want to make an earlier time to come on and go live. I definitely want to make an earlier time. And I will try to do that. But today I had a lot of stuff going on. Some of you may or may not know, for those of you who are watching the replay, I am an actress and a singer, podcaster, influencer, so to speak. And it's award season here in New York. So I've had to do a lot of pre-tapings for various things. I got a Drama Desk Award nomination and Outer Critics Circle. Guess they're not calling it nomination this year for the Outer Critics Circle, but I'm getting some being honored a bit. So I had to do some pre-recorded things. So I had to do an extra little look for the makeup today. But this is the tea for the day. And I appreciate you all just coming in with me. You know, everybody has different ways of coping, different ways of processing. And the one thing that I feel and I've always felt is that sometimes silence feels um, needed when you're trying to process how you feel. Um, but then, based off of interactions with other people, your silence may be deemed as being complacent, you know. And one of the most interesting topics that I found today was the topic of our white allies. And so, allies, to have allies or not to have allies. I saw a post. I saw a lot of people that were they were disturbed about a post that Madonna posted. You know, the pop star Madonna. She posted a video of her son, and he was dancing. So I went onto her Instagram. This is on her Instagram. I went into her Instagram page, and there were lots of posts of her children dancing, singing, her dancing, singing, her with various outfits and costumes and promo. Apparently, she did a song with Offset. Who knew? I had no idea. I've not been hip to Madonna's, work as of late. Although I was a fan at one point. I'm not a fan. I just hadn't kept. She's been around a long time. So a lot of people who were upset about Madonna posting about George Farmer and George Floyd. And Madonna has black children, you know. And so I understand that on one hand, there are people who are like, oh, we don't want to hear from celebrities right now, but celebrities, people, whomever they are, especially if they have black children, they are going to be concerned, you know. One of my favorite YouTubers did an IG live about a week ago, and she was just talking about what it's like to raise black sons and to be concerned with them when they leave the house every day. So for us to eventually have a change happen regarding this institutionalized racism and the way that things work is I don't know how it's going to happen with only us being involved. There's so many different layers to everything. I say us, meaning, I don't know, people of color, you know. That smells so good. I did not put the microphone on. I'm so ticked. I was just doing these pre-records and I just was like, time for me to go live. So I went live. The other thing that was controversial about the Madonna post was that her son was dancing to an MJ song, Michael Jackson. And so he was dancing to All I Want to Say Is That They Don't Really Care About Us. And he was just going, he was going in. You got to think, Michael Jackson was Madonna's contemporary, like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Prince, Madonna. They were all like, I believe they were all born in or around the same year. I don't know if somebody can pull up that research. Anybody who's in the comments knows what year Madonna, Prince, and Michael Jackson were born. You can pop it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you and what your thoughts are. When people are upset, of course, people don't want to hear opinions from people who they deem to be a part of the problem or people who they think don't understand the problem. But in order for true and major change to happen, in my opinion, there's people of all races and ages and from all different. So 1958, Joe Shiro, thank you, Joseph, says 1958. Is that the year? Were they all born in that year? They were all born in that year? The reason I brought that up is that that particular thing about Madonna playing MJ is because as of late, it had become controversial or, not cool in certain circles to play Michael's music because of a documentary that came out, I think last year or the year before last. This documentary that came out where, yes, all of them born in 1958. Okay. The Magic Three or four, what? Whitney, Prince, Madonna, Michael. Some powerhouses. And she's the only one that's still here. So imagine if your career, just as a person, we're not getting into race and all of that. Imagine if your career, as she got her power in this thing called music, this pop music, all of her Grammy Awards attendances and music awards. Okay, Whitney was born in 63. Okay, so they were born around the same time. They were hot during the same time. They came of age during the same time, and they all had that magic sprinkle across them at the same time. So in my head, it's like in my thought, I was seeing it as a bit of defiance, in a world where a lot of people, people, in 2020, we're a part of this cancel culture. So people are canceling people left and right. If they don't want to know about it, they don't want to hear about it. All they want to say is they don't want to hear about Mike, right? um, so it was so interesting that Michael's music came to the forefront during this particular time. Him being a Black artist or African American artist, um, born that way, regardless of how his outward appearance changed. And there's so much we could go down a rabbit hole about Michael and controversy. We can go down the rabbit hole about music, art, movies, whatever controversial things, and people appreciating the art, movies, music of people who have been accused of and or gone to trial for doing crazy things. So Michael beat beat his trials, and so people just sort of moved on with life and continued to enjoy his music. Um, and then he passed. Um, there are other people in the popular culture you know, movie directors, Woody Allen, different people who have been accused of certain things, and their work continues to be consumed, and they continue to work. What was it? There was that one director who like moved to a whole nother country to avoid being prosecuted. You know what I mean? Um, and it's a controversial thing, but it was so interesting to me that she's not stupid. She very boldly, and the video was still up. I looked at the video today. Her son was getting it. He was in the kitchen dancing. Yes, yes, Roman Polanski. Roman Polanski, he left the country to avoid his charges. Michael actually did face his trial. Um, and anyway, so you have that thing where even with so I'm taking this little tangent, right? Because you have this thing where even during this time that we're watching these versus competitions, these versus battles or clashes as they call it. They just had the versus clash between Beanie Man and Bounty Killer. And everybody was talking about how they would love to have R. Kelly in a clash, but R. Kelly don't count no more because he's locked up, because of what he's done or what he's, I don't know. I guess R. Kelly had his full trial and all this stuff, and I forget all the details, but I'm lining all this up to say that it's interesting, the idea of managing your grief, managing your pain, dealing with fear for your children, racism, seeing cops and getting a chill and not feeling comforted by them, possibly even having family who are a part of law enforcement, you know, um, playing music that gives you sweet memories but is highly problematic for someone else. You could have a song. I want to say that I Believe I Can Fly was one of the songs that was sung at my high school graduation. So now we're all supposed to kind of remix our brains and now disassociate our experiences with good music at the time with bad things that these people were accused of or charged with or went to trial for doing. And so in the midst of Madonna trying to present her beautiful black son, showing his excitement to protest and his passion or whatever, he's dancing with all his heart, the whole message got lost in the sauce because people were like, Michael, why is she playing Michael? But I read in the comments, right? So in the comments, you have a lot of people that are like, go Madonna, play that Michael. You know what I mean? And then you had people who were like, go, I forget her son's name. They were so happy that her son was dead, and we remember people who've been following Madonna for a long time remember when her son, when he was just a little baby, you know what I mean? So people are like, look at him, he all grown up, everybody's so proud, because I think she had two that she gave birth to, and then she adopted the other two. So there's mad articles. There's so many articles online about her. There's her race related gaps, they call it. But so all of this ends up stealing the story, when the story is, yes, Barnyard says, let me go into this chat. Thank you guys for liking the video, giving a nice thumbs up if you're enjoying this evening with Saycon Talks. Just talking about today, last night / today, there were riots in Minneapolis due to protests for a man who was murdered. His name was George Floyd, and it was on video, and our nation is in a very painful explosion of fear right now. And so there's been a lot of stuff online, a lot of stuff. And so this is just a little recap for anybody who's coming into the chat now. Let me go into the chat. Barnyard says, great music or art versus bad behavior. Exactly. It's like, how do you manage that? If if I Believe I Can Fly was your graduation song, if whenever you feel like protesting, you want to sing, all I want to say is that they don't really care about us. If that's your go-to song to pump you up before you go to do your protest or before you write your article for your blog or whatever, people got all the things they do in their life and they use music to inspire them. If Woody Allen is your favorite director, I was literally just in a chat on Facebook where some women were talking about this movie called Match Point. And I was like, I love that movie. I love that movie, Match Point. Let's see, Match Point. Have any of you all seen that movie? It's a movie by Woody Allen. I believe it's by Woody Allen. That's the point that I was about to make, is that I was like, I love Match Point. And then I'm like, directed by Woody Allen, yes. So then it's like, political correctness and cancel culture and whether you should enjoy products, great art, great music that was created by problematic people, or people who are deemed problematic in certain areas. People make choices to enjoy what they're going to enjoy. Y'all know about the 38th law of power? Who knows the 38th law of power? Anybody? Welcome, anybody who's just coming into the chat. Thank you for coming into the chat for your Friday night chill with Saycon Talks. I'm just having a little tea. I see a couple people popping into the chat. If you are curious, I am sipping on this ginger peach black tea. I didn't do any honey. I think I will. But yeah, anybody? So excited about my new gold spoons. And I have some that I decided to keep I was like, I'm gonna keep these spoons over here. I have some that stay in my kitchen, but I'll keep fresh spoons over here in case and I keep this little jar of honey here for my tea. So I don't have to, whenever I go live, I don't have to set up. But yeah, it's something else to be processing your feelings. You know, if your wedding song or your honeymoon song was your body's calling, how do you manage that feeling? You know, Whew. How do you manage that feeling of having a very controversial artist have music or songs that moved you? Anybody know the 38th law of power? Yeah, law of power. Or war? Power? War? One of those. So interesting how when this tea, when the water goes in it, all the little peaches plump back up. I guess it like dehydrated peaches. I believe the 38th law of power says behave as you like, but act like others or something like that. And I think that's something that so many people do, even if they haven't behaved as you like. I think even if they haven't read the let's see. I'm sorry, I'm typing at the same time. Yeah, 48 Laws of Power. Even if you never read that book or listened to a live thing about it. 38th Law of Power. Think as you like, but behave like others. This is something that so many people do. I think so many people um, yes, Dark Cloud just gave an example. So many people, because someone may be controversial or it may be uncool or uncouth to do, but they still enjoy the art. So Joseph Shiro says you just looked it up. I guess you just looked up the 30th law of power. And Dark Cloud says we still watch the Cosby Show. That is a great example. This is a wonderful example. I didn't even think about Cosby. Cosby. Um, I mean, I remember years ago when he was out talking about what people need to do and how they need to act. And I think I remember my brother being like, he need to get somewhere and sit down trying to tell people how to act. And then I remember hearing stories about him. I remember hearing stories, but man, oh man, was the Cosby Show not so good? The show itself, was it not so wonderful to see that family living in that beautiful brownstone, playing jazz? I got into jazz music just because of that. How do you manage your feelings, you know, your pain in a time like this with, music or art or, you know, something that moves you but is deemed controversial? How do you manage? Life is just so layered. Um, Hello, Bayo. Oh, Bayo, what's up? You said, what up, Saycon? Thank you for coming into the chat. I know it's late. It's a little later than usual. And I totally promised to go on much earlier last Friday, but I'm just so happy that you all are here for this Friday night chill with me. What are you all drinking? Is anybody having tea? Is anybody having alcohol? I have to do some birthday shout outs. Shout out three cool birthdays today. The first is my homegirl Arshelle, who I met in Liberia. She's a designer. She has Bombshell Factory in Liberia. She says she's sending me a box, so maybe next live episode, I will be wearing her designs. I have some of her stuff already. Shout out to Day Bird. When you know people from another name. I used to know her as Shellis Hill. Now her name, she goes by Day Bird. Totally different name. Shout out, it is her birthday, one of my dearest, closest friends. And then, of course, my niece, Shamara, who I call Mara. Shamara Good, it's her birthday, and also she will be graduating tomorrow. Everybody's doing these virtual graduations, and social distancing parties and social distancing graduations and drive-bys and all those different things, because we're all just trying to cope with everything happening, with social distance happening, with corona, COVID, with all the things that are happening right now in the world. The fact that there has been less, there's still been that level of I was gonna say there's been less concern for people and their welfare. I'm gonna disagree and say it's not that there's been less concern, but there are still these bad apples that are a part of law enforcement that make the good apples make everybody look bad, you know? And it is an epidemic. I saw on CNN. Oh, so the other clip I just watched just before, speaking of, wild situations, I watched a clip just before I got on here on CNN. A CNN reporter, a Latino reporter, he was reporting his whole crew. They were reporting his producer, his cameraman, assistant, maybe it was like 4 or 5 of them. They were reporting, and then, the police came over and were like asking them what they were doing, and then they they came and arrested this man on TV while the camera was going. So he got arrested, and he was so, that thing, like black and brown people, like there are so many of us who, you speak so calmly, you speak so directly, like, sir, we're in the location that you all told us to be. Should we, is there another location you want us to move to? It was all that, thoughtful, even conversation. And the police did not answer any of his questions. He was like, why am I being arrested? Why am I being arrested? And they were just like, boom, boom, boom. Then they arrested the producer. The producer was like, why is he being arrested? Then they arrested the cameraman. The cameraman was like, why am I being arrested? And then you saw the camera go down, and the camera was on the ground, and the camera was pointing at his leg. And it was just like, wow. And so people were talking about, they have a right to report the news. They have a right, they weren't rioting. Freedom of speech is one of our, one of the tenets of this society, I guess, by the Constitution, freedom of speech. So it's something else. I mean, I guess the same way that these problematic artists have freedom to create their art. Oh, and then you have freedom to enjoy it. Ooh, and freedom to be politically incorrect, or freedom to unfriend your friends or cancel your friends who listen to music you don't like. I was at a party one time this past summer. It wasn't a party, but it was like a little get together. I actually have an episode. It was that same day. I have to remember. I'm gonna put it in the bottom bar. I did a blog on The Secret Life of Bees. I was in the show The Secret Life of Bees. And you drinking soda? You drinking soda, Belle? How's your soda? What kind of, you got ginger ale, Coke, Sprite, Pepsi? What you got? What you drinking? Anyway, I did this vlog on, I was at a gathering. We happened to have on a 2-show day one of our producers in Zynga, or one of our company manager in Zynga. Her mother came and made all this curry, like Trinidad curry chicken, and I think curry gold, and like, oh my God, roti. It was so good. Anyway, so I happened to be filming, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a little vlog on this. And everybody was like, having fun, getting their life. I don't know if this, I can't remember if this is in the vlog. We were getting our life, and then Michael Jackson music came on, and half the room just was like, I refuse to dance to this music. I refuse. and then and then you had some people were like, now hold on, this song came out in '73. That was before any of that stuff even happened. Even before the stuff allegedly happened. So do I have to stop dancing? And then other people were like, yes, you have to stop dancing. It was like, so it became a whole discussion. Meanwhile, I've been to some other events where, baby, they playing whatever music they want to play. Okay. Whatever music they want to play. I will say MJ does not shut down a party the way that R. Kelly shuts down a party. Yeah. Going back to the thing with the cops and the CNN, speaking of shutdown party, they shut their whole party down. And then the camera, I was just thinking, oh, that looked like an expensive camera. Then you could fit. They were like talking. So then the people you could tell the people back at the headquarters were like, our people just got arrested. They were just talking through the whole thing. This is our camera. Then you could see the camera walking. They were like, this is our camera. You could see the viewpoint of the camera. I was like, Lord, what they gonna do with that camera? Let's see. Let me get into this live chat. Freedom of the press as well. Good old original Coke. Well, I'm from the ATL, so we grew up. That's a Coca-Cola city. I get up north in the Midwest, and they doing Pepsi, but I grew up in ATL, so it's always Coca-Cola. In fact, the art for the Coca-Cola Santa Claus in the Christmas time, I always just thought it was the best Santa Claus paintings ever because it would go into that vintage, old-fashioned style. So you're drinking good old, yeah, freedom of the press. Freedom of the press. So freedom of the press exists, right? But at the same time, you have to be careful what you say and how you do, depending on your station in life or what you want to do and where you want to be in life. You know, I recognize that certain people, some of you all may remember I was talking about that chessboard and how some people just cannot help themselves. They got to be out there in them streets protesting. And I'm not the one to be out in them streets protesting, throwing rocks. I'm way too prissy for that. But it's not because I don't care, you know. But I would say y'all come home safe and dinner is ready. You know what I mean? That's my own honest vibe, you know. But people have to be who they are, right? You know, it's so interesting. Moses Hannum came up in here. Wait, look at Moses Hannum. So Moses, I always shout out Moses Hannum when he comes into the live chat. Any of you who are watching replay, hit that live chat so you can watch the stream and see Moses always has the most lit emojis. He says, "What up, y'all nightcap ass Nick?" What y'all talking about? Coca-Cola all the way. Been always trying to get to the Coke place in ATL every time I visit. Y'all ever find it funny how people that riot never got to work in the morning? Interesting. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, that, Mohannon, just to give you a little recap. And Mohannon, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up if you're enjoying it. You came by for the Essence Fest, as you called it, last week. But that's a really interesting point you made. I was just talking about people in their station in life. But the people who are willing to do this, it's important that they exist. I always say there's an ecosystem. There's an ecosystem. And just as you need the king and the queen and the rook and the whatever, you need the pawns, you need everybody to play their role. And so all this kind of stuff was inevitable and it was going to happen. It was a hot, what do they call it, a pressure cooker of anger, sadness, and pain. It was a pressure cooker. So people were going to protest. But fascinating, Mohannon said, y'all ever find it funny how people that riot never got to work in the morning? That's interesting. Mohannon, do you know the 30th law of power? Sidebar, what up, Saycon? What up, Moses? I need to call you Moses because you changed your name. I think it used to say Mohannon, but now it says Moses. I'll call you Moses. Moses, do you know the 38th law of power? And the reason we were talking about Coke is because I always want to know what people are sipping on. Me. Y'all, I love promoting Black businesses. I can't even front. I get like a special kind of high, like promoting Black businesses. I'm about to order another case of Jinjan juice. 30th, which one of 50 log? No, not the, okay. So 50 Cent, yes, 50 Cent wrote a book called His Law, with his, what was 50's book called? 50's book, what 50 Cent's book was called? 50 Cent Laws, Power, let's see. Or was it that he remixed the 48 Laws of Power? I think I have his book too. Oh, the 50th Law. I'm confused. I'm confused. So the 50th law grew out of the friendship and mutual admiration between 50 Cent and Robert Greene. Okay. So 50 Cent, yeah, he wrote his version of it. Right. Yeah, because I actually have that one. I think I actually have his book and not the original book. um, I type so much faster when my nails are short. Okay, yeah, Robert Greene. Right. Yeah, yeah. Um, 50 Laws of Power, a play on the original 48 Laws of Power. Exactly. Um, he said, what am I sipping on? Always some concoction. Yes, yes, darling Bill. Bill. Look at my golden spoon. I am sipping on my African tea. My African tea. My ginger, my peach black ginger tea. You said don't enlighten, but nah, I don't enlighten your. You don't enlighten yourself. Por favor. The reason I'm bringing up the laws of power because, okay, let me get back on here. We bringing this all around, y'all. We're going to bring it all the way back around like a good ass comedian. You know how they give you that punchline and then they bring it all back around? So 38th law of power says, think as you like, but behave like others. Deception has always been a powerful weapon in many fields. Basketball players fake a hot shot to give more space for the real shot. Some photographers edit images to make pictures more beautiful. Deceive people to hide their genders to get customers, and even animals use deception as a form of offense and defense. With deception, wise men can be outwitted by a wiser man. Deception as a defense, deception as attack, blah, blah, blah. This law shows how powerful deception is. When being straightforward, it gets people into trouble. Like what happened to blah, blah, blah. It pays to be wiser and lay low, like a chameleon who gently fades into the surroundings. It waits patiently and then attacks. This says Villamore. Oh, I don't know who this is. This person, I guess, posted this section on this particular blog. Ooh, y'all remember Blogger? SayconTalks started on Blogger about the 38th law of power. In other words, I don't know what that's psyop. Me not know what that means. Me no know. What does that mean? Psyop. I don't know what that means. Moses Hannon, type it in. I'm bringing it up because initially, before you came into the chat, I was mentioning everyone was wiling out, not necessarily because Madonna had an opinion about what's happening to black men in this country, even though she has a black son. People were wiling out about Madonna, but then she had the nerve to post a Michael Jackson song. And she was like, F y'all, my son like Michael Jackson, he dancing to Michael Jackson. And people were like, Michael Jackson's problematic. And so I'm talking about the 38th law of power. You know, do you remix your life? Do you really remix your life to please others or to make sure that you fit in with the crowd? Or do you just fit in with the crowd and then do whatever you want to do? You know, people talk about morals. This is a moral question. I am all up in the camera. Like, I hope I put these eyelashes on right. That one looked a little sticky. I just finished singing. Move mountains. I just finished singing. I recorded my vocals for an event that I am singing at. Well, virtually singing at. I had to record it and post and upload it or whatever. I had on a different outfit, but this is the look. But I changed so I wouldn't like just give this look away. I've always been a nomad ass loner. Yeah, a lot of us who be on YouTube, I think that's this is the reason why I love YouTube so much. YouTube is the great unifier for us nomadic people who either by career or by lifestyle spend a lot of time by ourselves. You know, that's what I call it, YouTube. I love YouTube. I've been into YouTube since it first started, since Chocolate Rain. Y'all remember Chocolate Rain? I love me some YouTube. You said I know, right? Back up, nostrils all up in the field. Ah, y'all can see that little light skin spot on my nose. I got this little light skin spot on my nose, and I try to cover it with makeup, and then the makeup moves, and then you see it again. It's got a little makeup. You can't see it as much now, but low key thinking about restarting up your Moses Hannum. I think you should restart your YouTube. I believe I saw you you were making comments in a chat with Erica Williams, I believe, and I just thought you were so funny. And I'm subscribed to you, so if you had stuff to talk about, I'd love to hear about it. What happened to Chocolate Rain? Right? What happened? I know he was doing voiceovers. He had a baby face, and then he was doing voiceovers. Chocolate Rain. Yeah, I think there's a particular grade of people who really you can enjoy your personal time and get into, the topics, the debating, even talking with people that you don't know, never met. Some half of y'all in here I never met. It's only like two people in this chat who I actually know in real life. But we're enjoying, we enjoy the discourse, I was in a live with Roberto Blake, one of my favorite YouTubers. I love watching I love y'all get into this. Y'all get into this ponytail. This ponytail, this kinky blowout ponytail. Y'all like that? Anyway, I was in a Roberto Blake chat for like 2 hours a couple of days ago. And then he was like, y'all, because he had to get off the chat. He does YouTube coaching. He talks different stuff, tech stuff, whatever. And then he was like, you guys, because he had to go to this other YouTuber named Viper with extra Y's, BYYYPER. Anyway, he was like, you guys, let's raid Viper's channel. So we all went over there, and then we all went into the live, and I was like, well, I feel like one of the cool YouTube kids. We're all in the Viper channel, whatever. You can kind of you find a little niche, find your own kind of community just by, being on YouTube. That's one of the reasons I enjoy YouTube so much. So I'm having this thing, you guys. Anybody who stayed past the 30-minute mark, because I be looking at my analytics, I'm having this thing where I'm trying to manage my YouTube life, which is my desired as a hobby, as a thing that I enjoy. I want to talk about music, pop culture, tea, health and wellness, whatever's on my mind, right? But in this world, I'm known for being an actress and a Broadway star. So I remember there was one live where someone from my musical theater kind of life popped in and was like, what does it feel like to be Elphaba? And I was like, what? We talking about Olivia? We talking about Octavia Spencer? So I don't know. Whatever it was we were talking about had nothing to do with musical theater. And so I decided, I'm going to say this officially, for anyone who happens to be into musical theater, who is watching this live on the replay or who is in the live chat, I am going to do a thread for my musical theater people, but it is for people like me who have transitioned to film and just giving a little notes and thoughts and telling you how to make that smooth transition into television and film. So I'm going to have that for my people who like the how-to for the acting. I'm going to have that playlist, and then I'm going to keep my grown and sexy playlist everywhere else. So, that's what actors always do anyway. They go do a big old crazy action flick for money and for support and to get the word out about their career. And then they go do a quiet little indie film that they really, really enjoy, even though it doesn't really make as much money. So yeah, got to balance it out, Moses Hannon says, is it basically all about just normal, organic, good company? Something ironically you can't find in raggedy ass real time. Yes, that's why we enjoy YouTube. 7 billion people on planet Earth yet can't come non-adult friends in real life. Ain't that some shit? Yeah. Come across. Yeah. Can't come across 9 adult friends. It is very true. Everybody's too busy. This is the thing. Like, everybody's super busy. People busy working jobs, raising kids, making dinner, losing weight, running errands, cutting their yard. Like, adulting is hard. I did a podcast on that on my SayconTalks podcast. Did you guys know I had a podcast? Many of you know, but anybody who's watching this on the replay, I have a podcast and it's on Anchor. It's called Saycon Talks. I want you to look for that podcast. But I did one called Adulting is Hard. And I think because adulting is so hard, those of us who actually like Moses Hannon, Moses Hannon, you need to be my co-host. I done said your name so many times. Those of us who actually enjoy decent conversation with adults can get that in this live stream format. And that's why I enjoy it so much. I hope that everyone has been able to find some type of peace today. You know, I don't know if that's possible with everything that's going on. Fun fact, ain't no such thing as too busy. As long as you childless on this earth, you good in life. Moses, are you a MGTOW, whatever it is? Is that what it's called? I know plenty of people who ain't got no children and they still be too busy. They be doing the most. That's a bet. As soon as I get podcast equipment set up soon. Moses, you can start your podcast with a phone and an app. With a phone and an app. But I get it. You want to have all the fancy schmancy equipment. I started slow. I started with my phone and the app and a logo. And then eventually I finally got a microphone. Y'all want to see? Let me show y'all what I did to my microphone. I'm terrible because I did not plug it up today because I was doing this other thing. But with my microphone, I bedazzled it. Y'all ever seen the Blue Yeti bedazzled? I might take these off. It looks a little corny. But they have those fancy bedazzled microphones. I always see the hip hop artists, you know, like Lil Kim and Trina, and and they'll have like their whole microphone is bedazzled with Swarovski crystals. Did I say that right? Swarovski crystals. Their whole microphone is bedazzled, and then they just look like dream girls, the whole thing. Y'all, I'm getting one of those microphones. I may get a really good, what I've read is that you should get the really good microphone and then you send it off to be bedazzled, because the ones that are already pre-bedazzled are not good microphones. Nah, you need boom mics, table, widescreen laptop. How much was that? Hey, lady. Hey, Colston, what's up? Colston coming through. I was looking for you. This is the Blue Yeti, which is very popular. This is fun. You guys, I did a video that's coming up. It's a video towards people who are into becoming YouTubers, because small YouTubers matter. And I found there's a whole world of people who are building their YouTube. This is the Blue Yeti, which a lot of people use. The Blue Yeti. It's the one that a lot of people use. Terrible that I'm not actually using it right now so that you can hear the quality of the voice. But some of you have been on this podcast before and you've heard it. But this is a Blue Yeti. It does not come bedazzled and blinged out. I just, it's quarantine. So I be bedazzling. I think I bedazzled my scissors, y'all. I bedazzled my scissors. Anyway, the Blue Yeti, I think it runs around a buck 50, something like that. So it's not too bad. Colson says, yes, we do. Yes, we do what? I just be running my mouth so much, I don't even be knowing where I jump from. But I want to show you all a little something just because I was talking about it so fervently earlier. Oh, I must be hungry. Oh, shout out to Anthony Stewart, the mixologist. He does the Saycon Talks logo. He did my logo and the SayconSengbloh.com website. You all should visit. But I just want to show you all what inspired my chat today. I'm only going to show you a little bit of it. Let's see. I'll show you the visual for a little bit, and then I'll bring the sound up. This is Madonna's son. I can only bring the sound up for a little bit, but well, I'm not monetized. This is one of those videos where it's okay. Oh, I liked it. So can you imagine? Madonna, the point I was making earlier in the chat is Madonna came up in the 80s, like every time she went to the Grammy, she was like, "What's up, Mike? What's good?" Like these people, their fame rose at the same time, and then now he's gone, right? And now he's been deemed now and then he beat his trials or whatever, but because of this new documentary, he became problematic. And now all this stuff is happening in the world. Black men being killed, all in the world. Protests, people protesting, they're burning things down, and people are expressing themselves. They're drawing paintings of all the people. I've seen paintings, art, dancing, music, different stuff. And so can you imagine if Madonna is your mama? She'd probably be like, let me tell you about Michael Jackson. She's probably in her house. She's not dissing Michael Jackson. In her house, she's like, children, time to learn good music. So imagine that a song that healed the world, all those different songs that are quite beautiful songs. Michael didn't even write some of those songs. That's the other thing, is like he wrote some, he co-produced some, but it's like, how do you manage that? How do you manage your emotions when, your expression of managing the emotion, the pain, the stress? I'm gonna turn the sound down. How do you manage your emotion when your emotion means you want to dance, you want to express yourself, and then people are like, how dare you say something about that, and how dare you use that artist to say it? You know what I mean? Adulting is hard, y'all. Was you one of those girls that used to bedazzle your backpack and trapper keeper with a bedazzle? No, I never had a bedazzler when I was younger. I used to love a trapper keeper. Y'all remember every year when it was time for school, and then you got to see what kind of trapper keeper you're gonna get. For some reason, when I think of my trapper keeper, it makes me think of like Lisa, and Colt Jam. I remember I used to be like, lost in emotion, and then opening my trapper keeper, like, yes. You mean adopted son? Yes, like Charlize Theron and all those mayonnaise women that end up coincidentally effeminizing their African children. Well, I will say this: he didn't look that way in this image. He looked like he was doing his little, and he had pants. That's a whole nother conversation. I did see some pictures of Charlize with her children. I enjoy gender roles in certain ways. So there are a lot of people who don't. There's a whole new movement of people who are expressing non-binary lifestyle. I personally enjoy gender roles. So as I've gotten more into, I guess maybe it is the whole gender roles, feminine lifestyle and all that. I've made extra efforts to do my nails and wear pretty things, and so I'm just like attracted. I bought some flowers for myself the other day. I was like, oh, the lady was selling flowers. I was like, flowers. Like I'm attracted to that, and as is my right to be, and I enjoy that. So yeah, so I started bedazzling things. It's going, like how anybody who ever watched Wendy Williams, you'll see like whenever she goes to her house to do stuff, she has like a craft room. I don't have a craft room. I just have a couple of sheets with I bought some pearls today. I bought some sticky pearls. Maybe I'll put the sticky pearls on there too. I'm gonna hook it up. It might be a little gaudy, but it's all right. I'll just be like, we the best. And then what's his name? He'll come and tell me that it's the best. It's the best Yeti microphone ever. Did you know that they tried to manage Michael in that particular music video? Manage. You said yes, girly things. Yes, exactly, Colston. Like Colston, I noticed because I watch Colston Chinese. She's also an actress, movie producer. You guys have to make sure you check out her page, follow her page. We got to build Colston's page up too. Colston's promoting her movie, but Colston has a different lipstick on every video. It seems she does her different lipsticks. We all have our different ways of presenting. So wait, my girlfriend said y'all hate flowers though. Make it make sense. Ooh, I was gonna say something. Am I gonna say that? Maybe your girlfriend does hate flowers. Or maybe she has decided that because she needs other things, she cannot receive flowers. So that happens sometimes with women who are like, you spent $50 on some flowers? I needed new pots and pans. Right? The key is though, what I'm really enhancing and learning now is that you need to receive the flowers and the pots and pans. And you need to let your man just give you flowers sometimes. And it can't just be about pots and pans or vacuum or whatever it is that you know. So I love flowers. I know I have a friend, you know what's funny? I have a friend a girlfriend, girl, whatever, female friend who does not like flowers. And I can't remember who it was, but I thought it was somebody. I thought it was my friend Christine. I was like, Christine, well, you the one of us. She was like, girl, no, I love flowers. I was like, oh, okay. Christine likes flowers. She said that flowers are pointless because they wilt. Flowers are pretty, but are short-lived. Plants are beautiful too. So this one is faux, and it lives a long life. The orchid that I have, one of my good friends, Maya, she always brings orchids. That orchid died, but the leaves are still nice. They do wilt, but I'm gonna tell you what my brother always talked about. My brother drives trucks, and he talked about how the flowers they have so much value in trucking because flowers have high value, you guys, but they are a thing that only lasts a short time. So they have to get to where they're going fast, and then they're lightweight, so they don't weigh down the truck and burn up all your gas. Flowers are awesome. Flowers are good for the economy. Flowers are good for life. Women are flowers. I ought to stop the stream and start over, make a new stream. My channel ain't popping like that. Some of these other YouTubers I watch, they'll stop and make a whole new stream to talk about a new topic. Or maybe I will. Maybe I will. I don't know if y'all gonna come along, but maybe I will. He said, no, you just not that one that falls for goofy ass Jedi mind tricks. Flowers are pretty but are short lived. No, you not that one that falls for goofy ass. Women are flowers. That's not it ain't got nothing to do with the Jedi. It ain't no Jedi mind trick. Women are flowers. And bless you, man, whose eyeballs enjoy them when they walk by. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try it because why not? Let's see if y'all hop back on. Stay on my channel. I'm going to start a new thread and tell you why women are flowers. You're watching SayconTalks.